So when we look forward to the European Championship under Trapattoni, are we going to get a team that's, you know, that where the senior players say we can play like that and we're going to play like that? Or are we going to go back to the days of Sampdoria and Juventus and all that kind of stuff, where he just...
It's not changed, and he won't change.
But he changed tonight.
Something changed tonight, Graham.
Or something changed tonight.
I think Graham put his finger on it, we've talked about it before. Fear. The fear factor that's been in the Irish wasn't there tonight.
No,
exactly. But I think what people find out who's it's difficult to know if you're not in the dressing room, Bill.
Yeah.
I mean, I said before, I suspected, like in Barry and other times when we've been behind, that the team playing a different way. I don't think that's the manager shouting to the players right now, change now. I think it's the players themselves saying, right, we're going to.
And their comments before the match would suggest that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know, but I just suspected before the match that there would be a change of attitude with the Irish team, whether it came from Trapattoni, which I doubt if it did, but whether it would come from the players themselves, where the senior players would say, right, we've got to go out and do it, because we know we have to do it. I don't know where it came from, but there's no doubt that watching the match is the right way to do it.
Exactly.
Now, there's another thing we have to address, Bill. The bench tonight.
Yeah.
Now, we made substitutions tonight, and when McShane came on, we all said, there's an accident waiting to happen. When Gibson came on, that bench should have had Steve Finnan, top player playing in the Premier League, should have had...
Who I think is injured at the moment.
Well, Stephen Reid, Andy Reid, Lee Carsley. A lot of players have been exiled from this squad. And tonight was a night when they should have been called on and they were needed. Gibson contributed nothing. He hasn't played since September. He isn't up to this level at all. Now, that was a factor too. But a lot of lessons could have been learned tonight. And I hope that Trapattoni has absorbed those lessons. But I hope we never hear again said of this team that they're limited and that they're not good enough to play international football and to be in contention to qualify.
But I think with respect, you'll hear it from Graham Souness.
I've heard it from a lot of people.
But you'll hear it from Graham. Graham says head for head, or player for player, they are not good enough to take on the big teams. You might as well stick to your guns now, because you did say that.
I think they're a limited group. They were playing against a team tonight that had, out of the 11 Frenchmen, 10 of them playing the Champions League on a regular basis. And the team that started for Ireland...
We have one.
You had one.
John O'Shea.
And if you look at the teams, Wolves, Middlesbrough...
Scunthorpe on the bench. Coventry on the bench.
Hold on a minute. Manchester City, Shea Given is good enough to play in the Champions League.
Richard Dunphy said that Shea Given was the only world-class player in the Irish team.
I want to just respond to that. Shea Given is good enough to play in the Champions League for any club. Richard Dunn is good enough to play in the Champions League for any club. Damien Duff, on the performance tonight, is good enough to play in the Champions League. OK? John O'Shea is playing in the Champions League.
If they were good enough, they'd be playing in it.
No, some of them happen to be with clubs.
I have to interrupt you. I think we're losing the point in this. I think the point is not who is good enough to play in the Champions League or not. The point that we've been trying to make all the time, that if these players like not Gibson, Whelan and Andrews in the middle of the field, Bill, are encouraged to play better. They can play better.
Right.
That's the point. Now, they'll never be world-class players, but they will do better than they have been doing in a constructive way. And they showed that tonight, that they can do it. They're not going to be world beaters, but they're going to be encouraged to get on the ball and with a positive attitude, which we did tonight. That's what I was trying to make with Graham even last week. They are limited players, but they can. Their limits are not as low as
Trapattoni suggests.
Yes. And they can be better.
Yeah, OK.
Forget about who can play in the Champions League.
And they showed that tonight.
Because they
Andrews was the best player on the pitch.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take a break first.
And show those chances.
And then we'll come back with reaction and analysis, and we'll show the goal as well. All right? Stay with us.